Save that. Missed. Corrected vanillin. Now I do the same thing, move these guys around. That 3161, that's your OH stretch. 2860, that's part of your CH stretch. I'm going to go ahead and label a couple more peaks in here because there's your SP2 CH stretch that you would expect to see. This is the aldehyde CH stretch, that one at 2860. And then these peaks here at 3020, that's your SP2 CH stretch, and these 2946, that's your and 76, that's your SP3 CH stretch. And down in here now, we got some fairly strong peaks. Also some weakish ones. But we should be able to match that up to literature nicely. Those two are pretty strong. Probably CO stretches right there. This peak at 1372 is weak enough. I'm going to just ditch it. Okay, peaks. Alright, it's being difficult. I'm going to get back out of there and okay. We have a glitchy software. There we go. Let's try this. These peaks so we can tell them apart. We expect 1500 and 1600 because we expect a benzene ring breathing. So we can save this and print it. Oops, I missed. Caps lock is on for some reason. Alright, so we're going to save that. So there's a peak at 1510 and a peak at 1588. That's probably the 1500, 1600 we're looking at. This peak at 1665, that's probably the aldehyde carbonyl stretch. And since it's conjugated with the benzene ring, it's in a slightly different position than you would normally see it. And then, like I said, we probably got some CO stretching in here as well. So it looks consistent. Let's search the library. Now this time we got a 76.92% match to vanillin, which is pretty good given that the vanillin in the sampler is run as a new-gel mol, so we got these hydrocarbon peaks that are showing up in the library spectrum that aren't in ours because we didn't run it that way. Oops. I'm going to cancel that. I meant to print those on separate pages. And then it's also not a bad match to 3,4-dimethoxybenzaldehyde, which is closely related, right? It's just an extra methoxy group instead of a hydroxy. So this is actually pretty good quality. One search results. And now we will do an IR spectral interpretation and see if it, no matches were found again. So I'm going to pull the same thing we did before. which is I'm going to open back up the original spectrum. And try the IR spectral interpretation on that. And this time we come up with an aromatic benzamide, which it is not. So the functional group interpretation has just not worked out well for us on these samples. It should be coming up as a phenol and an aldehyde, and it's not doing so. I would like you to be able to see what those look like, so I'm going to go to my library manager here, to my Nicolay condensed phase academic sampler, and I'm actually going to search for text, vanillin, and I'm going to open up the vanillin spectrum and add it to a window. And I'm actually going to do an IR spectral interpretation on the vanillin. Aromatic benzamide, aliphatic hydrocarbon. So even the library spectrum, the IR interpretation guide is not coming up with the correct functional groups. So we'll just have to use the literature instead. So I'll upload all those and you'll be able to do the analysis.